Hi guys, first thing, hurricane warning for Baja California and for um, Florida. This is going to be around the Tallahassee region and around the Todos Santos region. That trajectory may change. It is an early model, so the trajectory could change, and also at the moment these look like maybe Cat 2, Cat 3 storms, hurricanes rather, but they could intensify or they could weaken. So we'll keep an eye on it. It is an early model. This is a projection to June 15th. Coincidentally, that is one of the watch days, one of the very high watch days of next week, June 14th and 15th. So maybe it's a coincidence or maybe not. We'll see what happens. More coincidence comes up when I get a comment from a subscriber who mentions that Pentosa Island used to be known as, until 1972, the Island of Death from Behind. It's now known as the Peace and Tranquility, or its name is now changed to mean Peace and Tranquility, but up until 1972, it was known as Palu Belakang Mati, which is roughly translated as the Island of Death from Behind. Now, you guys already know that I've obviously talked about the connection between Donald Trump and the possible shooting and how it looks like in the chalkboard scene. He gets shot at from behind. I've already talked about that. So the fact that they're having this peace summit on an island that used to be known as the Island of Death from Behind is incredibly coincidental, I'll call it, air quotes. At the same time, the scene could also translate to this one. This is the girl represents Korea, as has been commonly translated, and she's approached by the figure of death from behind. After that, we have fireworks, which could be a connection to North Korea wanting to have a party with South Korea, and that could be in connection with the summit if it goes well, or even if it doesn't, they could still want to have this party with South Korea. Obviously, the denuclearization sign on her cheek, and the love heart, that's currently going on now with the talk that's going on between North Korea, South Korea, and the United States. So I think there's a lot of correlation between the summit that's taking place on June 12th and the IPEC GOAT video. It certainly seems as if the Island of Death from Behind, where they're having this summit, is referenced in the video. If that's not just to say the skeleton approaching from behind, could be a representation of death from behind, maybe not an island, but at least that part of it is connected. Also, the references we have to Donald Trump in this video being shot in the head from behind on the right side. So I'm making it very specific. So, you know, that's exactly what I've seen in this video, a shot the right side of his head at the back. So, you know, we'll see if anything happens. You know, obviously I don't wish death on anybody, but this is what the video is depicting, and that's at least the way I'm interpreting it. So, you know, we'll see what happens. In the same kind of interpretation narrative, the summit at Kilauea has collapsed, and, you know, there's a giant hole in the earth, basically, goes miles down. The lava in that crater has flowed elsewhere. There's probably still some in there really, really far down, but, you know, this lava was at the peak of this summit here, and now it's all drained. We've talked about the reports of it being drained and it's flowing towards the ocean and all sorts of places, popping up in residential neighborhoods, causing havoc. And what would happen if a nuclear bomb or a nuclear missile was fired into a volcano? That's a theory that, you know, people have talked about. It's a interesting topic, if nothing else. The common theory is that nothing would happen because the bomb would be melted by magma. But there is no magma in this particular crater, or at least the magma is really far down. So just a hypothetical, what if a nuclear missile was fired into that crater, it detonated? It would definitely cause a massive earthquake, especially if it was a H bomb, a hydrogen bomb. Potential for splitting the island is huge. There's been over 12,000 earthquakes there now since My last report, it was at 10,000, now it's at 12,000. So the earthquakes are happening in a spectacular scale over there, in association with the eruption that's going on. And that's obviously going to cause instability in the ground itself. So even if a nuclear detonation in the ground wouldn't normally, split a piece of the island off, accompanied with the other activity, it has the potential to do so. So that's pretty much the video, you guys. June 15th, Baja California, Florida. Looks like you got hurricanes heading your way. So, water, food, torches, in case the storms do intensify and affect the electricity or the power in some way. Also, if you live along the coastline, obviously flooding. So, be aware of that. This island of death from behind, as the Pentosa Island used to be known, it's quite interesting, I find, and could have a lot of connections with the scene of that we have. Also, I've almost forgot one other thing I wanted to point out as well in connection with this IPEC GOAT video and the possible theory of a nuclear detonation in a volcano. This scene has been, at least the background here has been, translated in either of two ways: a volcanic eruption or a nuclear detonation. And my presentation to you now is, what if it's both? A nuclear detonation in a volcano, earthquake, tsunami, the whole scenario, the whole shebang, basically. So you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and God bless.